Most online coaches should never run ads because they are missing this one core piece. One of my clients, Patrick, just did $15,000 in the last 2 days as a fitness coach. One of my other clients, Joe, who's a fitness coach as well, had an $11,000 day today. One of my other clients, Adrian, who's a fitness coach, hit a record $134,000 month. One of my other clients, who is also a fitness coach named Adrian, there's two of them. He just did 136K last month. And they were all stuck between 10 to 40K a month when we started working together before they ever started running ads. And there's a reason why some people absolutely skyrocket. They 5, they 8, they 10x their business and make a disgusting amount of money. They make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And there's people that don't. So today I'm going to share with you exactly why that is the case. Now, it all starts with understanding the risk and reward. But before we get into it, my name is Jeremy. I help online coaches scale with ads and setters. So I've worked with 500 plus clients, helped them sell probably close to 100 mil at this point, and I've generated over $4 million personally online with coaching. So I have a big enough sample size to talk about this. Now, it starts with risk and reward, right? The reason I say most coaches should never advertise is because most people are very afraid of taking risks, right? Now, inherently as an entrepreneur, you have some sort of risk tolerance, right? You're willing to take risks and to gamble on yourself. Now, most people only have a ceiling. Most people have a ceiling where they cap out, they hit their limit, and then they aren't willing to keep going further. And so this is where I see like a lot of my clients start with like $30 to $50 a day in ad spend. And then they sign clients, they get a 3, a 5, a 10. I even talked to a client this morning who had a 19x ROAS, return on ad spend. He's putting $1 in, getting $19 out. But there's a reason people hit that ceiling. It's because their internal thermostat is capped. Now, when you understand the concept I'm going to share with you today, you're going to understand how to blow past that ceiling and make a disgusting amount of money. So with that said, when you actually want to scale, you have to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice the now for the later. So when you're running ads, it's scary because you're spending money now and you don't know if or when you're going to get the money later on, right? There's a gap. There's a time gap between when you're spending the money and when you collect it on the other hand, right? And so that's scary. Most people can't handle this gap. Now, my mindset when I was first running ads was I'm going to spend money today. I'm going to reinvest the cash in my business because it's a business and money capital is like the lifeblood and the oxygen that your business's lungs need in order to actually breathe and expand. And so my mindset was I'm going to keep spending money on ads right now to hopefully maybe one day, potentially, possibly make more money from this 6 to 12 months from now. And so the key is to detach yourself and remove yourself because it's important to understand that advertising is literally controlled gambling, right? We're all a little bit of a degen deep down, and that's what makes it fun. But the degens that make the most amount of money are the ones who are willing to risk the most. And so you want to and I'm not saying bet the farm right away. What I tell most of my clients is like start with $30, $50 a day in ad spend, sign a couple clients, establish like a big enough sample size, get a big enough return, get some cash in the door, get some wins, and then let's slowly start ramping up the ad spend. But most people get to a point where they're spending $50 a day, $100 a day, and then $100 a day is scary to them. And they won't spend more than that. As a result, let's say we're turning $1 into $5, which is very common and honestly not that difficult to do. That means if you're spending $100 a day, it's $3K a month. That means $3K a month is like $15K in cash. You're going to be stuck at $15K if you don't continue raising the budget, raising the ad spend, right? Now, let's say we make $3K or we spend $3K, we make $15K. Well, let's say we put $5K back in, times that by 5. Next month, we make $25K. Let's say we're like, okay, I'm fired up. Let's say we put $20K in. Usually the ROAS doesn't necessarily like track at scale, but hypothetically, you put $20K in to ads, you make $100K out on the other side, right? And I have so many clients that do that. And so what's important to understand is like, you have to think in terms of percentages, not dollars. Because if you think of like, oh, $100 a day or like $500 a day or $1,000 a day on ads is like really scary. It's like, you're looking at it wrong. You have a broken perspective, a broken lens through which you're viewing your business. What other investment vehicle exists? Maybe aside from like Dogecoin or Fartcoin if you're early, where you can literally put $1 in and double it within the next 30 days. Not like, let alone 5x it, right? 10x it, 19x it. And so we have, when you build your business, you have to build a system and a way to get new clients, right? And when you have a systemized way to get predictable, consistent new clients coming to you every single month, then you have stability, you have security. And when you have stability, you have abundance, that's where you can actually start to take a little bit of risks because you have the confidence that you're going to get more clients coming to you as well. And if you're not running ads yet, either book a call down below, we'd love to chat, or join my free school group, links down below too. I got a mini ads course in there and some other good stuff. But nonetheless, like when you actually have a way to get new clients, you're more tolerant to take more risks. And the people that make the most amount of money, like the clients that I showed you earlier, like Adrian, Joe, Patrick, Peyton, like the reason that they're all making the numbers that they're doing is because they're willing to push their comfort zone and take that risk. They're willing to understand that this is a game of controlled gambling where it's like we're putting some money in with the hopes of getting it out later, right? And that requires detachment. That requires you to take a bit of a step back, expand your time horizon, think longer, so that way you can actually allow your marketing engine time to actually start converting clients. And in the book Fanatical Prospecting, I remember reading this like 5-6 years ago in my parents' basement. The only thing I remember from that book is the 30-day rule, which says on average, it takes about 30 to 90 days to get somebody to go from a stranger to a paying customer. That's because they have to get warmed up. They have to get nurtured. I signed a client last week who's been watching my YouTube videos for 2 years, right? You have to, and they probably came from an ad like 2 years ago. And so you have to be patient as well. And so I want to I really want to drive that point home where it's like, you have to be willing to take risks. But on the other hand, you also have to make sure that like you understand that volume negates luck. And so you have to be willing to test more, right? It's not a matter of just like making one ad and ripping the budget, right? If it works and fucking do it until it doesn't, right? But you got to constantly start testing because I hear clients come to me, they're like, hey, Jeremy, like, like ads aren't working for me. Maybe my niche is different and like I'm cute and special, but it's like, I'm like, oh, cool. Okay. Like not cool, but I'm like, shit. Okay. Talk to me. What's going on? What all have you tried? They're like, yeah, I tested 3 ads and like I spent like $200 and I'm like, that's why you're broke. Now I don't call my clients broke because they won't stay broke for long, but like it's that line of thinking, it's that mindset that keeps people stuck. And so I'm making this video to hopefully help you identify and be aware of that pattern of thinking because our brains are not designed to make us grow. They're designed to keep us safe, right? And so that requires us mentally and consciously and intentionally to force ourselves to get out of our comfort zone because there's no growth in comfort. And so I was talking last week, I hosted a client event, a mastermind retreat here in my hometown, right? I had 50 people come out from all over the world and it was absolutely phenomenal. I had 50 people in my little fucking shoebox condo here and it was awesome. Had some insane speakers like Dan Martell, his right-hand man, Sam, who runs the media company. My other buddy, Lucas, is doing $1 million a month and a bunch of other guys come out and speak. And I was talking to one of my clients. It was actually during one of the presentations and, somebody asked one of my clients, like, how many ads have you tested? And this client just hit a record 160K a month. And he was like, thousands. And I just want to let that one sink in a little bit because you can't expect to make millions of dollars if you only test 3 ads or spend a couple $100. You have to be willing to risk hundreds to make thousands, risk thousands to make tens of thousands, risk tens of thousands to make hundreds of thousands, risk hundreds of thousands to make millions. It scales linearly. And so I really want to drive that point home because it's so important. Most people, when they try something new, it doesn't work because like the thing doesn't work for them. It's because they didn't work to make the thing work for them, right? I completely butchered that, but hopefully you get the point. They did not do the work enough to make the thing work. And so the most successful entrepreneurs I know are ones that don't just roll on their back and fucking take it. They're the ones that get up when they get knocked down, when something doesn't work. They're like, hey, why did this not work? Let's look at the feedback. What's this telling me? Why did this not work? Where does this suck? And then they work to make it better. Then they try more variations. And they use like I remember back in high school learning like the scientific method where it's like you have a hypothesis. You're like, hey, I think this message is going to resonate with my audience. You throw it to the market, you see if it does or not, and then you use the feedback and then you adjust and iterate and then try it again. And the most successful clients I've ever worked with are ones that do that. And they do that fast. They take action fast. They take a massive amount of action. Like one of my other clients, Adrian, who just hit 140K this month, 136. He launched 70 ads. Sorry, no, he didn't. He launched 69 ads, very specific, in 72 hours. In 3 days, he launched 69 ads. Most people watching this video, you probably never ran 69 ads in your entire life. That is how he went from 20 to 30K a month last year to 130K a month this year. Because he's willing to make that investment. He messaged me last night. He sent me a Slack message. He's like, hey, bro, here's a win. Just paid 40K this month in payroll. Most people watching this video probably have never even made 40K in a month. And he's like, I'd consider that a big win. Feels like I'm building a real business now, right? You might be like, oh, wow, like that's a lot of money. But it's like, we went over his margins. He's running like 65, 70% margins. He's hired 3 sales reps, 2 setters, and some coaches underneath him. And now, excuse me, all he does is the things that he's good at that makes him money and that he loves doing. And of course, running ads. And so the more ads you test, the more money you're willing to risk and put up, the more chances and the higher likelihood of success that you have. Now, it is never a matter of ads don't work for my offer. It's always like you didn't do enough to make ads work for your offer. Either you don't understand your marketing message, you don't understand how to actually communicate the pains and the problems and desires that your people have, and probably just haven't tested enough. And so a very tactical, actionable thing that I want you to take away from this video is like a good framework is like, even if all you do is like record one ad, just record like 5 different hooks and just launch them, because your hook is the most important thing. And so rather than testing one ad at a time, if you test 5, you're literally increasing the chances that you strike gold and that you hit a home run by 5 times. Like, think about it. It's like the person who runs 1 ad versus Adrian who runs 69 ads. Who do you think is more likely to succeed? Who do you think is more likely to find a winning ad? Think about that for a sec. And so Hormozi talks about this all the time, where if you just do an overwhelming amount of volume, not only do you get really good at recording ads and writing them, you get really good at analyzing them and testing them and finding a winner. Like, the chances of you finding a winner are so damn high, it's going to be hard not to. So with that, pull up your socks, get out there, go find a winner, scale the piss out of it. Go make your family proud. If you want my help to do that, book a call down below or join my free ads course on School. I'll see you on the inside. Later.